in her cookbook, Rocks Your Life, 21 Delicious Plant-Inspired Recipes, Carla has shared her foundational steps to adding healing plants to the table. And now she's recognized as an advanced food healing coach, a celebrated raw food instructor, and comedic yoga teacher. And ultimately, Carla would just love the opportunity to take care of you in a healing and getaway retreat. And this mother has a deeper message than just eat your vegetables. She helps us re-engineer our values regarding food and remap our habits for health. So please, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Miss Carla DeRosa, our wellness rock star.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Tanya. I appreciate that. So tonight is very, very exciting to me. So we just got off of this roller coaster, amazing ride of this 4-week series, Sister Heal Thyself, and it was amazing. And we got so into it, and we were talking about detoxing, losing weight, the 4 pillars of what you need to thrive in life, and also how to reverse lifestyle diseases like sugar diabetes. I mean, it was fabulous, right? If you were there, please put in the chat. It was fabulous. I dare you. So one of the things that came up, we were talking about detoxing. We were talking about cleaning the colon, and fabulous. Yes, thank you, Carol. And we wanted to take it a bit further. We got so much feedback through the emails, the chats, and also texts asking about, colon cleansing and the Klima board. And we said, well, let's just have a bonus session. Let's bring everybody back, and you can invite your friends and your relatives, and you could do that now. If you know someone needs to hear this information, share this text with them right now. Share the link with them right now and invite them to come on. We're going to be on for about an hour and 20 more minutes. So we would love to share with them. And I want to share my screen with you as I kind of take you through why this topic is so especially important. So give me 1 second. There we go. So, and I learned from last time that y'all like it big. Y'all don't want to just see it in the corners. You want the big, wide one. So tonight we're talking about colon hygiene, how to shine from the inside out. And so this title actually came from Sandy. So she did the first session, Be the Cleanup Woman, and she brought in these pictures of colon, and they were actually so clean, they were glistening. And she was like, isn't that beautiful? And it really, really was. So this is a topic that we really don't talk about, right? And we just lost one of our modern day heroes who played so many of our modern day heroes on the screen, Chadwick Boseman. And he died from colon cancer. And he was private, it was silent, and he came and it went, and it was heartbreaking. And I think that we deserve it we owe it to ourselves. He deserves this conversation. And I'm not saying that he did anything wrong with his health, but I'm saying if we have clean colons and we're shining from the inside out, when we have something going on, at least we could see what's going on. We don't have blockages, and we're more in touch with our body. So according to the CDC, Black women have the highest rate of developing colon cancer out of all demographics. And that's alarming, right? Because we want to be here. We don't want to have greater comorbidities that cause us to lose our lives or to get sick more often. But the other thing that was very alarming when I was doing research on this topic is that people born in 1990 have twice the risk of colon cancer and 4 times the risk of rectal cancer as compared to people in the 1950s. Isn't that mind-blowing? wouldn't you think that the further we get in technology, that the smarter we would get, that the food would be better, that we would be embracing the old pastimes and the home remedies that kept us going, but we don't. And so going way back, I think this was Sandy's session too. We were talking about the red bag, grandmama, big mama, and the red bag hanging up in the bathroom. And that was the whole practice of colon irrigation. And we've forgotten that, we've lost that. And I think that that is a big part of why you see more risk now than you saw then. And we'll talk about that because we did promise to share with you how these practices can boost your immunity. So really, really want to get deep into that. So in this article that I read about the 7 signs of colon cancer, they go like this. So blood or pee in your stool. So these are things to be aware of, be thinking about in terms of your colon strength, your colon hygiene. Stomach, unexplained stomach cramping. If you always have something going on with your stomach, you don't want to just push to the side. You want to heal your digestive system. We want to get down to the source of what could be pain, because pain is a communicator. People want to take opiates and drugs and mask the pain, but the pain is how the body tells us something ain't right. And if we mask that and we just blindly push through, I'll tell you one thing, I have a friend in ICU right now, and she had stomach problems, and she had a stomach pain, I should say a pain in the area of her stomach for at least a decade. And it was on a scale, I said, well, what was the pain level? She said, oh, the pain level was only a 1 or 2, but it was always a nagging pain. And now she's recovering from, she had ovarian cancer, and it had spread to different parts of inside of her body, a young woman in her 50s. And so pain is a messenger. Do not ignore it, do not accept it. And if it wasn't for her pushing the envelope, going to specialists, keep trying to find out what it is, because doctors were like, oh, it's not that much, don't worry about it. But she kept pushing, and that's how she ended up getting the diagnosis and getting the surgery. Otherwise, it would just keep metastasizing, and she wouldn't be here with us. And now she has a chance for a brand new life, although she has a lot of recovering to do. So watch out for pain. Extreme fatigue. When your body isn't absorbing the food, when you have digestive disruption, then the whole thing that gives you energy is called metabolism. It is the formula of how your body converts calories into energy that you can use. So when you're extremely tired, that could be malabsorption. That could be a problem with your colon. Problematic poop, diarrhea all the time, constipation all the time, intermittent back and forth, that's IBS, that's irregular bowel syndrome, skin changes. So in this particular article, it talked about moles and patches, and how, you know, simple moles and new moles can be a signal for something happening deep in the body. Trouble swallowing. Occasional trouble swallowing is not a problem, but if it becomes a regular pattern, that can be an indication of colon disease. And also, as we know from Chadwick, unexplained weight loss. We saw, and a lot of people say, oh, I thought he was, you know, preparing for a role, and actually he was what we call wasting. So these are 7 signs to look out for. And so I want you to just follow along with me. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. And Tanya, just interrupt me if anyone has any questions, because I know I'm covering this fast, but we got a lot to talk to you about tonight. So this is what gets me so excited. So on the flyer and the invitation, we talked about flat belly magic. So we love our big butts, right? And we don't mind little breasts, but we don't want a big old gut. And now we have scientific proof why we don't want a big gut. Research shows us that excessive body fat links to increased colorectal cancer, along with 10 other types of cancer. But carrying that belly fat, regardless of your weight, is a risk factor for colorectal cancer. So that's flat belly magic. When my stomach is flat, I feel good. I feel like, okay, I'm not inflamed. My food is digesting. Everything's moving through 24 to 48 hours. That's all we want to get. We don't want to be holding on to that stuff for decades. And I'll tell you why. So this is getting into the immunity part of it. So our feces is not just food. We inhale through our nose, things permeate through our skin, and those toxins get in our body. Let's not even talk about those Doritos and those chips you've been snacking on, talking about emotional eating. Don't even bring those up. But where do they go? Where do these toxins go? Some of these unrecognizable poisons, where does it go? Well, the body wants to flush it. The body wants to just push it on out, right? But what happens is it gets wrapped up in mucus. So mucus is actually the body's soap. So it's not a bad thing. But if you have a lot of mucus, you have a lot of soap, that means you need to do some cleansing, right? That's your body hinting. And also what your feces is not only toxic waste that you've absorbed in your body, but it's dead blood cells. It's dead viral cells. It's bacteria, and it's trying to get rid of it. But then you're constipated. And that feces is laying on a mucous membrane, just like in your mouth. How absorbent your mouth is, you put anything in your mouth and you absorb it, reabsorb it. That's what happens. And so when you're walking around with 25 to 35 pounds of fecal material, making you have a pooch in the front like a kangaroo, that's a risk factor for cancer. That little pouch is dangerous, and we got to clean it out. So what can you do? Because I don't want to leave you on that note. Now we're going to get into the nitty gritty of what you can do. Exercise. This is what Tanya talked about. Move. You got to move. Sandy told you, bounce around, move those lymph nodes. Removing red meat. Now, you know, we are plant-based and we're always going to push the plant-based. Red meat is very hard to digest. What was that actor's name? I forgot his name. Oh, John Wayne. When he was a rancher, famous movie star, and when he died, he had an autopsy and they took out his colon. I don't remember if they said it was 65 or 85 pounds, but his colon was the weight of a person. His colon, it was backed up with meat. Alcohol, we talked about this last time. We like our wine, but it's really not that good for us. No matter what they say. It might be good for our nerves, but it's not good for our bodies. What can you do? You can increase your fiber. You can increase garlic, very antibacterial. Raw garlic is like a medicine. It is a food medicine. But there's one thing that's not here that's very important. So put it in the chat and y'all tell me. I can't see the chat, so y'all have to tell me what's in the chat. Very important part that we really don't talk about. But
Darlene,
if you go
says
to
water.
Okay.
Carol says water. Everybody's saying water.
Mm-hmm. Very good, everybody. Water. Drinking it, but also putting it in your butt. So let's talk about that. So last time I was with Sandy. We're talking about detoxing. I was telling you about the enema, talking about the Kalima board and the colonics. And that's what got this session on the books, because it's like, they want to hear more. Let's talk more about these things. So the enema, this is the updated version of the red bag. The red bag is dangerous. I'm sorry. Throw that thing away. You do not know what's in it. It's full of mold. I'm telling you, backwash. Do you hear me? That thing is a douche and an enema, and it backwashes. So imagine what's in there. Not good. And it's red. You cannot see. You can't see it. So that's why you want a clear, medical grade, antibacterial, disposable enema. This will clean you out nicely with no danger of infecting you with fungus, bacteria, pathogens like that. I like colonics. If you're in Atlanta, my favorite place is called Heal Thyself. They're in Grant Park. Tell them Carla sent you, they give you the hookup. Kalima board. This is my favorite because Kalima boards, you can do 5 gallons of water at home. It's just like a spa, light your candles, save money. So I'm going to talk to you about these things today. So let me exit this and show you the Kalima demo. All right, here we go.
Okay, so
Can y'all see that?
I would like to do just a really brief demonstration. So conceptually, you can get the Kalima board. So these are the colors that they come in, blue and gray. And I have 2 gray Kalima boards. So come with me, I'm gonna show you how it works. All right, so this is the Kalima board right here. So this whole part is the board. So when we say Kalima board, this is what we're saying, just the board. So the board lays on your toilet like this with the seat raised, okay? And then the other part is on a chair. And so this is a very tight space. This is my space. So you at least need enough space for your Kalima board and a chair. So again, it is limited to the space as well. And this board is pretty heavy. Okay. To put the Kalima board here, you get some tubing here that you put inside of your food grade bucket. So that's a food grade bucket. It does not come with your kit. This is what comes with your kit: your own catheter, your own tubing, and that's what comes with your kit. So, and that's all private, that's all yours, and you could buy those over and over again. I would get a new one every 6 months at least. So the tubing goes inside of your food grade bucket. That's where your water goes. And then it goes through your Kalima board. And it's a couple pieces of tubing, some hard tubing and some soft tubing to make it go together. And then once you have your tubing going through your Kalima board, then you use your catheter. Your catheter is what actually goes up your rectum. And if you may not be able to see, but it has 8 little holes and then a hole at the end. So 9 holes to help you get the irrigation from the water. So you put that on like that. Now there is a part that I'm skipping and it's called priming. And so if you do get a Kalima board, I'll walk you through the step of priming to get a gravity feed from water to come through. But for demonstration purposes, just to show you what the board is and the setup, I did it. I'm not going to prime it. All right, so you put your padding, and your padding does come with your board. So you have your padding, your board, and then your kit, your food grade bucket that you're gonna get from like hardware store, but it's food grade, so it's safe. That plastic is safe. So now we're gonna get on our board, and you have to get on carefully. I'm not gonna lie, a board can flip over. So you're gonna scooch down, and women, we're used to this, right? Putting our feet in the holsters. So you could do it a couple ways. You could get a pillow, you know, I would in here if I was really doing it. And so you take some lubricant, put it on the catheter, put it on your rectum, and then you slide down. And I have very long legs, so I like to put my legs on the wall, like so. And then you'll want to use your clip, right? And this is the clip that you use to regulate the flow. So you pinch it off, turns off the flow, you open it up, it turns on the flow. So this is the Kalima board setup. And so again, if you get a Kalima board, I will walk you through every step, even as you do it the first time, so that you can get a sense of if you're doing it right. And that's one of the things that you can't get if you just buy it directly from Kalima Boards of California. They are not going to have a Kalima session with you, but I will, because I know that it's important to understand what you're doing. But that's how you get the irrigation in. And then it comes right back out your rectum, into the bowl, right into your toilet. No muss, no fuss, no mess. So this is the setup for a Kalima board. Not bad, right? So just think, colonics start at about $100, right? So if you pay it's between $300 and $400 after shipping and tax. If you use it 4 times, you've paid for it. And of course, you're gonna have it for a lifetime. So you've already paid for it in the first year. And that's what I tell people. If you're not already doing 4 colonics a year, it may not be the tool for you. So thanks.
Okay, so that's your Kalima board. So actually the Kalima board is $279, but it's heavy. Shipping is about $85, and then there's tax. So it's gonna be in the high threes, like $359, $379. It kind of depends too where you are. You know, the farther you are from California, the more expensive it is because they're built in California. But I do want to tell you this, I'll be happy to help you get a Kalima board. You work with me, it's the same price as getting it on the internet. So it's really up to you. I'll be happy to help you along. But the only problem is with COVID, they're behind 3 to 4 months. So literally they will be building a board for you, and it will take 3 to 4 months. So it's not anything that you would have automatically. And so I got a lot of different calls, people asking, you know, how to order and everything. They're on back order because of this pandemic. They closed down their plant and they have not been manufacturing it. But if you're interested in it, definitely could help you. Now, in the meantime, you could be doing.
Carla, I want to stop you for a moment.
Thank you.
You got some really good questions here. You've
Okay.
answered one of them relative to price. Darlene asked, are the 9 holes how far you are to insert the catheter? That's question number 1.
No, you want to get the catheter in maybe like 3 to 4 inches. So you want to get that water going pretty high. And so it's interesting because I don't have one right here, but the catheter on the Kalima board is hard plastic. And so you do have to be careful in inserting it. You have to put a lot of lube on it, but it is small. So that's helpful. But yeah, you want to get that thing up there. The higher you could get it in, the more cleansing you're going to get. But I love the Klima board because it's like the water rushes down. You saw how the bucket is higher. So it has that gravity feed system, and you can get 5 gallons at the time. Now that's the benefit. So you have a 5-gallon, food grade bucket, and you could get 5 gallons at the time, but you do have to support it. A shower rod isn't not gonna support it. That's gonna be probably 50 pounds of water. It's not gonna be supported by just a simple shower rod. So you'd have to have some support to it. But if you end up getting it, I will help you technically. My husband, he's the one who helps secure ours around the house so we can help. Tap water, I see that flashing by. No, I would not use tap water. Use some kind of filtered water when you're doing your enemas and when you're doing your Klima board.
So Hanok asks, do you take the insert out when you get the urge to go?
No, with the Klima board, you just sit there like with a colonic and it just cleans out. It just cleans out.
Okay, and Jasmine wants to know, how long does the Klima board process take at home?
It just depends on how backed up you are. It could go really quickly if you're open and water is rushing in and rushing out. But sometimes you could be so backed up, water just rushes in and you're just kind of sitting there. Yeah. And so you could do massages. You could put some oils on your abdomen. You could do breathing, but it really just depends on you. But I would say plan for an hour, but it could be like 30 minutes.
Okay, and so, and I think you kind of answered this in the video, but Darlene wants to know, do you recommend getting a series of colonics at a professional spa first, so you have that experience, and then getting a Klima board?
Yeah, I definitely do. If you've never had a colonic, you wouldn't want to get a Klima board because it's kind of like doing home colonics. So I would say prime yourself with that. And I always also would say, be a person who's already doing enemas as well, because if you're not doing enemas because some kind of psychological block, you don't want to spend $400 and not use your board. So you want to be a person who already does enemas, already does colonics, and I recommend colonics quarterly. Even though I have a Klima board, I like to treat myself, when we're not in a pandemic and going to get quarterly. And so I know you have more questions. So we got a lot to cover, and we're going to have some question time at the end. And, I forgot to tell you. So we're going to do a little raffle. So I'm going to give away a couple of my books. So this is a book on raw food, 21 delicious plant-inspired recipes. I have that, but you got to wait to the end. We're going to do a raffle, but you got to be here toward the end. And then Awaken Your Inner Goddess, Travel Retreats and Wellness Vacations to Heal You. And this book also has a couple of cleanses in it as well. So I'll be giving away these 2 books at the end. So hang out to the end. Let me move on to my enema demo. So only thing I really wanted to show you with the enema. So this enema is 1,000 mLs. Is about it's about a quart of water, not a lot of water. And that's the difference. If you want to do thorough enema, you would have to fill up the bag several times. That means you'd have to get up and go get the water and come back. Not that it's not doable, but it's just laying there with the Klima board. That's more luxury. That's more relaxed. You don't have to keep on getting up. This simple bag is the bags that I use for my children. They don't really like the Klima board. They're not into that. So they still use the enema bags. This is the medical grade plastic, antibacterial plastic that you can see. So if this bag got some backwash and it started to mold up, you could actually see that and you could throw it away. These are disposable. So, and honestly, in my mind, so are those red bags. Throw those away. So one of the secrets I learned at the Living Foods Institute is that a lot of times people will get these bags, right? And I see them on Amazon for like $20. But what happens is this end is kind of hard and it's kind of big. So what we like to do is use the flex tip soft extra long catheter and put it on the end. And now you got like an extension, and it's much more pliable, it's softer, much more comfortable. This is why my kids like this, right? Because I told you the catheter on the Kalima board is hard plastic. They're like, ah, but this one is really, 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 really soft. And so what I wanted to offer you, because I know some people wanted Kalima boards and I felt disappointed in telling them that it was a 3 to 4 month wait, but I just have to be honest. But I wanted to offer you the opportunity to get a home cleanse kit. So let me show you what's involved in the home cleanse kit. And the home cleanse kit that you can get for $30, you'll get 5 antibacterial medical grade enema bags. You'll get 1 extra long comfort tip 14-inch extended catheter. And also you get a bonus of a 60 ml syringe. And this is for people who are really, really advanced and you want to put some good stuff in. So you could put your probiotics in, you could put wheatgrass in. These are called implants. And so that's next level. That's next level. You clean out, then you put some good stuff in. And so I have the hookup, so I'm able to give you a great price. Tanya will drop the link in the chat. And if you want to get an at-home cleanse kit in the meantime, while you're dreaming about a Kalima board, feel free. I would be happy to help you. And again, also, Tanya, give them my phone number. I'll be happy to walk you through the process the first time of how to do enemas. So we have to bring these old time remedies back. As you saw, our children are suffering. People born in the 90s having more colorectal cancer than people in the 1950s. That don't make no sense. And we have to get a grip on that. This is our legacy. So one of the things that we ended with in the last series was we gave you an opportunity to buy the series and have it for a year. So that was for the low price of $97, all 4 sessions. Be a cleanup woman, don't be a sugar mama, the 4 pillars to thrive in your life, and also releasing weight and getting your waist down, and the importance of finding your perfect weight without exercise. I mean, without gyms, not without exercise, Lord, definitely exercise, but without gyms or diets, okay? And so I don't know if you remember that. If you remember that, press type yes in the chat. And again, I can't see the chat, so you have to let me know what folks are saying.
Okay, Carol says yes. No, Darlene says yes.
Carol says yes.
I'm not sure who my iPhone person is. I think it's Joan.
Jody
says
Okay.
yes.
Awesome. Yes. So you can have what we brought out for a year. And even tonight, we had a session with a professional marketing woman. And let me just tell you a few things that she said. She said it was wonderful, the information. She said it really spoke to her. And she says the information that she got from those 4-week sessions actually gave her peace.
Mm-hmm.
Actually gave her peace, because we're going through a very tumultuous time. And we know as Black women, as Black men and women, we're being hit twice as hard with this COVID thing. And we're contributing it to comorbidity. So what does that say? We got to get it together. We got to fortify our temple and protect ourselves. And so these videos, definitely great avenues, great paths to get that information. So with that, we also share with you for $30 more, you get the videos, but also you'll get 12 days of fasting. So 3 days of vegan fasting with Tanya, 3 days of liquid fasting with the gangster, Sandy. She's hardcore. Good thing you're starting off with Tanya. At least she's gonna feed you. And then 3 days of healing foods with me, and 3 days of intermittent fasting with your star watchers. So we're offering that to you because you're here, because many of you came to the Sister Heal Thyself 4-week session. Our loyalty price is $129, which is only $30 more than the recordings. And one of our intentions when we started to plan this is that we know that every year from October to January, people gain weight, 10, 15, 20 pounds. You know, sometimes we just eat just to please our people, right? But this is a different year. 2020 is different. If 2020 is different, say amen in the chat. Right? And so this is a great year to reconstruct our relationship to food, especially as we see how it impacts our health. So this year, we're breaking that legacy of gaining that holiday weight, that seasonal weight. I don't even want to say holiday, because is it holy, right? We getting sick.
Yep.
So we want to break that generational curse and intercede with some cleansing, right? And learning different modalities of cleansing. And that's what we want to talk to you about now. So I am going to turn it over to Tanya, and she's going to tell you what she's going to do with you.
All right. So, wow. Awesome. As always, Carla has done the fantastic job. I always learn so much. I just feel like a participant myself because I always learn so much. And so like Carla said, what we're looking to do is help you clean your colon by giving you the opportunity to experience 4 different ways of going about doing that with 4 different fasts. So I'm starting off with what I am calling the session of Let In, right? And so this is basically cleansing for beginners, and what it's going to be and how we're going to be doing that is cleansing by eliminating toxic foods, because a lot of us have food sensitivities that we're not even aware of that we have. But by doing a cleanse that is totally food based, doing this type of cleanse helps us to identify some of the foods that affect us in ways that we just didn't even think that this is what me putting something in my mouth causes this reaction in my body. So how that's going to start is we're going to begin with eliminating, like I said, eliminating foods that are toxic, and foods that we know are toxic, that have toxic effects on the body. And what we're going to be replacing that with is consuming whole plant-based foods, and that will begin to prepare your body for a deeper cleanse and for the fast, the other 3 fasts that are coming in the following weeks. And so we want to create success by capturing your measurements at the beginning and before and after pictures, because everyone likes to see, we want to see results, and we want you to see the results of what you're doing in this 12-day experience. And so the objective with what we're starting with by eliminating these toxic foods is to, number 1, preparing yourself mentally for cleansing and fasting, because a lot of times we think that doing a cleanse or a fast is all about our body, but it starts here in the mind. Everything starts in the mind with thought. And so we're starting off by preparing yourself mentally, because I'm going to be sharing some things with you, because I don't think Carla mentioned this. Guys, this has never been done, right? We're over these 12 days, you're going to have daily coaching from us. Let me say that again. Daily coaching from us. So you get the opportunity to, as you're experiencing, the things that you're going to experience with these, the different facets of cleansing modalities that we're going to be sharing with you, you get the opportunity to ask us questions every day, to share with us every day about things that are coming up, and we'll, respond by just educating you on what's actually going on in your body in real time. Never been done before. So the first part of this is also going to prepare your body, like I said, for that deeper cleanse, that when you go to the next week, right, your body is already ready to be receptive to what's coming up next. And then you're going to become familiar with foods that support your body in cleansing. That's all going to happen in those first 3 days by us eliminating the toxic foods that have, affected your body in ways that you may not have actually been conscious of. And so that's what's going to happen the first 3 days. That's December 1st through 2nd and through the 3rd. And then the next 3 days, and this is where I'm going to pass it over to my friend and colleague, Sandy Rogers. The next 3 days is where we're really going to get into gangster fasting. So I'm going to pass it over to
Look at this
Sandy.
sweet smile. You know I'm not a gangster, right? No, but I do take healing very serious because, and I see there's some conversation going in the chat room. We oftentimes don't want to accept that our community is being hard hit with genetically modified foods, with processed foods, with fast food. I call them joints, but if you go into the higher economic communities, you don't see Burger Kings and Jack in the Box and Jack in the Box is West Coast, McDonald's. You don't see all of that because they understand nutrition from a whole different way that we do. And there are certain products that are in our communities that have been specifically created for lower income people of color. So don't get it twisted. We are targeted. We are enticed by the foods that have been created because they've done studies, research studies to show what excites us, what excites our brain, what combination of additives, and Star taught me this word years ago, excitotoxins. That's what's in your food. That's why you can't put that yellow bag down. I'm one. Them potato chips, man, look. I've been trying to stay away from them because I understand that they're real easy. And they know when they say, you can't eat just one, they already know that to be true. So I'm trying to come out of this now because I want to go back. Here we go. I wanted to keep something on, wanted to put something on your mind as far as, and it's not working, so we don't have to do that. But you guys remember the picture that I showed during my 3 days of that beautiful, clean, flexible, flesh-colored organ in our body? That long organ in our body where everything that we consume goes through. And so once Tanya starts us on eliminating some of those toxic things so that we don't have the crunched up, shriveled up kind of colon, then we're going to do 3 days of liquids. So we may do water, we may do juicing. I will do a demonstration so that we can learn how to make the juices. And that's it right there. See that? That's what we want. We want a natural, healthy looking colon. You can see the veins. Look at there. Wow, I mean, to me, it's just beautiful. So that's what we want our insides to look at. Like Carla mentioned just a few minutes ago, that when we're laden with that visceral fat in our stomach, it leads to colorectal cancer. So let's take more proactive stance and be able to, I thought that was, okay, it is Carla's screen. So that's going to enable us to be able to change our outcomes and to help our families, our loved ones, to understand the importance that we need to have clean, functioning, perfectly conditioned organs on the inside, with the colon being the number one. Because you know, when the colon's stuck and ain't nothing going through it, and look, all kind of disease is setting up in your body at that point. Seriously, it's turning, your food is turning to poison and creating cancer. It's creating diabetes. It's creating skin conditions, heart attacks. John Wayne walking around with 85 pounds of poop in him. Can you just imagine that? Okay. So after we do the 3 days, and we get to do whatever you guys want me to do. So I'm open. I ain't really that hardcore, y'all. But don't tell my cohorts. But once we do the 3 days, then Carla's coming behind me, and she's gonna do then that third 3 days of the 12 days of the ultimate fast. Miss Carla?
Yes, I don't know if we could believe Sandy. She's gone 45 days without any food. Although I welcome it. I welcome the opportunity to break my food addictions with you, Sandy. So my 3 days are about healing foods, and I tell you why. So it doesn't matter what you eat, the supplements you take, if you cannot absorb them, if your stomach and digestive system is broken down, if you have leaky gut, if you have mucous membrane that's so thick like a kombucha mother, and it's gonna block your nutrients. So my whole purpose and intent for my 3 days are to get the phytonutrients that's going to build the gut, that's going to heal the stomach, so you can absorb all those delicious nutrients. So we're going to be concentrating on cabbage. Cabbage has L-arginine and it builds up soft tissue. We're going to be focusing on garlic, and that's going to help to break down all this internal fungus and bacteria and yeast, so that our organs are functioning better. But it's going to be real tasty. So we're going to be having smoothies, no garlic smoothies. No, I won't do that to you. But we're going to be having smoothies. We're going to be focusing on soups. So again, when you're, healing your body, you want to give it an opportunity to kind of relax. And that's what soups do. I love soups, especially this time of year. They fill you up. Now you get all your herbs and spices. And I'm telling you, herbs and spices, that's the true medicine. Those are concentrated little plants, and they love to feed your cells. And so we're going to be learning how to season those soups, make them delicious, but also they have a purpose. You know me, I love raw, so I'm going to be sneaking in some raw food snacks, and you'll never be hungry with my 3 days. I can't speak for the rest. No, I'm just joking. It's going to be amazing. But I do, my fast is about feeding the body and building. And so also, using the whole colon cleansing philosophy, but I like to put in and stoke the flame and get the metabolism going by really feeding the body high nutrient dense foods. So I'll be focusing on soups, smoothies, and snacks. And so that's what we'll have. We'll have some really delicious recipes. And like Tanya mentioned, I'm going to be going live. So I'll be giving you a food list. So you'll be going shopping. You'll secure the foods. We're going to put them together. There'll be some things that you'll have to do in advance, and I'll let you know. But the caveat of that is that it's coming up really fast. So it starts December 1st. So you want to be prepared. And so after you master this plant-based food, you relax your system with a liquid diet, you focus on the healing of your digestive system with some delicious foods, then you're going to worry about the timing. We're going to send you to the timing lady, and that's Star Waters. She's going to teach you how to bring down inflammation and reduce your chance of diabetes through intermittent fasting. So on that, I'm going to turn it over to Star to tell you about IF.
Hey, you're gonna be so happy when you see my bald head every day for 3 days, because these 3 ladies that are preceding me, they're taking you on a journey of totally changing from what you're eating now. And I don't know what that is, but Tanya's going to be introducing you to a plant-based way of eating. And you're going to love that. You're going to enjoy it. And I'm saying, hang on to it, because next slides in Miss Sandy Rogers, that's going to take you down the water experience, the juice experience, or whatever else that she has. Listen, this woman has fasted for over 40 days and 40 nights. So, and for a long time. So she's very experienced in doing liquids. And then again, as Carla just told you, she's going to introduce you to raw. And the reason why that I'm bringing this back around to you is because it's going to be like kind of like a nice roller coaster ride, not anything that's real thrill based, but you're eating and then you ain't. And then you come back and you eat something again. And with me, you get a chance to do both of those things, because intermittent fasting is a way that you can have both a feeding or eating window and a fasting window where you go without food. And with what you've experienced up until you get to me, going without food for let's say 6 hours or 8 hours or 10 hours or even 12 hours will be a piece of cake if you've already gone 3 days and didn't eat anything. So you see how this just kind of goes hand in hand. So what happens with intermittent fasting is that it gives your body an opportunity to have some rest time. This helps to build your immunity. Let's envision that inside of your gut, inside of your digestive system, there are little men and women with these uniforms on and these real nice little gloves, and they've got their own little brooms and mops and dust rags and everything, and they come out to work as soon as you stop eating. But you don't, because you eating all the way up to doggone midnight. They ain't got no time to clean up your system. They don't have no time to build your immunity because you don't know when to stop. Okay, now I have a friend, bless her heart, she is a diabetic, and her doctor advised her to take with her to bed every night graham crackers and tea or either milk. So at 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, she's still throwing stuff down there. By the time the food stops coming, those little workers, they done went to sleep. Okay, you don't have that much time for them to work. So while they're working, they are getting rid of the inflammation in your body. They are helping to build your immunity, and they are trying to help you work on that flat belly magic. But shoot, that belly just keeps getting bigger and bigger because you just don't know how to stop. So what I'm going to be doing with the intermittent fasting is we're going to talk through all of this. And when you are now fasting, however long it would be, the average fast with intermittent fasting is that you have an 8-hour eating window and a 16-hour fasting window. And you work all the way up. This is if you want to, but let me tell you why you wouldn't want to. When you work all the way up to where you're eating 1 meal a day, that's when the real healing magic begins, because your body goes into a state that's called apophagy. And apophagy is where you have those little like Pac-Man that come in and eat up all the dead cells and, just really clean your body, where guess what? You start aging in reverse. You wake up one morning and people are saying, something's different about you. You're aging in reverse. And if you're lucky enough to have hair, the hair maybe starts not getting as gray, it starts getting black again. Your stomach goes down, and oh my goodness, all kind of wonderful things happen, because every day that you don't eat for that amount of time, you are healing and getting better and getting stronger, losing weight. OMG. Just sidebar here. I was trying to figure out something to wear tonight, and there was this jacket in my closet that I have not been able to wear. I mean, I put it on. Fastening it was just impossible. It was about, can you see? It was about that much. I fastened those buttons 3 down, all the way down. I mean, hey, yeah, this works, people, and it works so effortlessly. Intermittent fasting is God's gift to us. And I eat 1 meal a day. And when you get to 17 hours of fasting, that's when your body goes into the autophagy, which means that it works extra hard to clean up and to get that fat off. And so sometimes the longer that you're in that state, the better it is for you. On an average, I fast anywhere from 21 to 27 hours. And apparently from that jacket that I did put on and fasten 3 buttons a day, it works. So as far as your diabetes is concerned, what it does is it helps to get rid of the insulin that would ordinarily build up. So your blood sugar goes down, your cholesterol is corrected and goes down. Your body just regenerates itself and recalculates, making you a stronger, better, more lovely man or woman. So I ended up, so in this case, Sandy Rogers, I get to be the cleanup woman. Okay, Carla, back to you.
Thank you, Star. That was amazing. And we definitely had some questions rolling in about so I'm gonna toss it right back to you with this last question that I saw about getting enough nutrition on IF, and I think that was it. Oh, Betty. And Betty, you might want to come off mute and just articulate your own question, but it was something around not getting enough nutrition and not seeing the benefits. So Betty, can you come off of mute to articulate your own?
Sure. I think that what Sandy Rogers did give me an answer, but essentially I've been doing intermittent fasting for quite a while. I'm not seeing the benefits. And I think my problem is that I'm thinking, okay, I need to eat quite a bit of food in order to get that RDA in every day. Okay. So when I sit down for a meal, I'm eating well. And I have a very, very healthy appetite anyways. So it's not serving me well. So I'm thinking I need to cut back on what I'm eating when I do eat.
Okay, is that question for me, Star Waters, or for Sandy Rogers? Which
Whoever
one?
wants to answer it.
Okay, well, I will address your issue, your problem with the intermittent fasting. And I, like you, did not see hardly any changes or any results or any benefits when I first started doing intermittent fasting, because I did the 16-8 window. And, you know, even though I heard over and over again that is, you know, you're eating at a calorie deficit, you know, we got to understand what that word deficit means. In other words, you're cutting back on your calories. You know, they want you to eat, but cut back on your calories. I had to let that 16-8 go because seriously, I ate for the whole 8 hours. Okay. I mean, I didn't know how to stop the thing, you know? So that's why I went into the 1 meal a day, clear cut. 1 meal, and I gave myself 2 hours to eat it. So I savored and I relished every bite that I took. Okay. Also, when you're in the apophagy period, you know, you need to be able to feed yourself healthy fats first. I talked about the little Pac-Man. Whatever you feed yourself first, they send out those little Pac-Man to eat that. So if you're starting your fast, or if you're breaking your fast with cereal and a smoothie, things that have sugar in it, the sugar Pac-Man will come out and they will eat up the sugar, the stored sugar. Well, I guess that's okay. But if you're here for fat loss, you need to eat your very first meal fats, natural fats like avocado and olives and walnuts and peanut butter or something like that. I mean, you get to eat everything that they say, no, no, no. And I love it. So if you want the stored fat to be eaten up, send down healthy fats first. That's what helped me. And after about a year on intermittent fasting, now within the last like 8 months, I'm seeing so much of a difference. That is the difference, my friend Betty. Got it?
That's awesome, Star. And so that really shows me, because, you know, I'm thinking intermittent fasting, or you eat so many, but these are the pearls that you get from having a coach who has experience in getting and doing it. So this is the difference than just picking a window and doing it from, you know, seeing it on the internet. This is working with someone who has the experience of how to get into fat loss mode, how to shorten your windows. This is the secret. This is the secret, having an amazing coach to work with. And I'm excited because I kind of fell into intermittent fasting and I didn't know what I was doing. I was starving myself and I wasn't losing weight. My energy wasn't great. I had just gotten into a rut of I'm doing so much for other people. I wasn't really taking care of myself. So I just ended up scarfing down something 1 time a day. I am so looking forward to reversing that into self-care and honoring myself by scheduling and taking care of myself and using intermittent fasting effectively.
Yeah. So listen, I want to jump in here for a minute because we have a ton of questions. I have been writing feverishly all evening for these questions. But before I throw out some questions for you, Carla, Star has answered the questions that were for her so far. I first want to congratulate both Crystal and Hanok because they're going to be joining us and they're on their journey to health and healing by joining us on our 12-day fast. So I just wanted to say congratulations to both of you ladies for joining us. And the links are below in the chat for anyone else that's interested. So that being said, here are a couple of questions that came up while you were talking, Carla. And so one of the questions that came up, this is relative to the Kalima board. I think this Carol asked, how deeply does the Kalima board clean? Does it just clean the lower intestine?
Yeah, that's good. That's really a good question. And that's going to be really for every single one, right? And so you'll have, like, I used to work with this woman. She was a colon what is that? A hydrocolon therapist. Yes, Rhonda. And Rhonda, she was a master at it. And so when someone's really, really working it, and Tanya mentioned this when she talked about her fast, like you're cleansing out from the top, pushing everything through the large intestines and then through the small intestines, the lower intestines, because you have 30 to 50 feet, you know, like this catheter is 14 inches. So it's not going, that's barely over 1 foot. We have 30 to 50 feet. And, you know, we see the beautiful draping, like Sandy had a illustration where beautiful draping, but guess what? Everybody doesn't have that beautiful draping. Some people have kinks and bubbles and snags, and, you know, some people even known to have knots, unfortunately. And so, yes, it really is good to get it from the, you know, from the digestive system all the way down, and then that's helping to pull it. Why I like colon hydrotherapy, putting water in and letting it flush out, is because another one of the pictures that Sandy had, it's like it showed how the colon atrophies if it's not used. So if the colon, like the colon that she showed us, it was, you know, very beautiful, very, very sparkly and, you know, very strong. But most of us having, and I say most of us, meaning Americans, having, you know, being congested and having chronic constipation. And part of the problem is because doctors will say, oh, you go once a week, oh, you go twice a week, that's okay. It's not okay. We're supposed to go several times a day. And so that squeezing, you know, that rhythmic squeezing is what our colons have forgot to do. And the cleaning of the colon with water, it stretches it and then it seizes back. And it you know, like a bicep curl. And you're not going to get that with, you know, with laxatives. It's just going to flush. You know, laxatives for the most part are toxins. And what happens is the body identifies this, like the senna, and it says, oh, that's a toxin, I don't want it. And it pulls the water from the rest of the body and flushes through. But guess what? Now you used a whole lot of water from the rest of the body. So now it's really promoting constipation or dependence on that senna. So yeah, it's only going to be the lower intestines. It's only going to be the small intestines. That's why we're offering the fast, to get from the rooter to the tutor, to go through everything.
So listen, I have a couple, I'm gonna, and ladies, I'm gonna tell you, because I know we're on a time constraint. So I'm gonna try to get as many questions as I can in, but just know that we will be going back, taking these questions to our public as well as our private Facebook group. So you'll also have your questions answered there if we don't get to your question tonight. So another question for you, Carla, relative to the Kalima board. Hanoko is, are Kalima boards safe for kids? And if so, how young can a child do the Kalima board?
Well, Big Mama used to put us on the red bag when we were infants. Now the Kalima board is a little bit more powerful in terms of the water. So two things, you know, that little stiff catheter, yes, lots and lots of lubricant, but you can use it with a child, but you would have to really be mindful of the water flow. like go very, very slow and stop. Whereas adult, now I'm used to the Kalima board. I just let it run. I'll just let it run all the way through. I might not slow it up at all. But with a small child, I would, and let them give you feedback if it feels tight, if they feel like they gotta go, if they feel like they have to push. But it's definitely safe. It's really no different than Big Mom in the red bag, except for it's clean.
Keep that in mind. Get rid of the red bag. We don't want any bacteria going up in your rectum. Bottom line. So these 3 questions, I'm going to kind of like answer them all in one because they're kind of food related. And definitely, ladies, my colleagues, please jump in. So there's some questions about getting all of your nutrients and intermittent fasting, which I believe Star just answered that question. And someone else asked a question about organic foods filling you up, and is that true? And then Jody asked a question about, does anyone know how you can clear your arteries of cholesterol? And then Jasmine also asked, are there foods to eat and drink to prepare for colonic? Okay, so I'm just going to tell you, ladies, the questions to all of those questions, and we can't help it, is plant-based foods, whole plant-based foods. That's what's going to clean out your arteries, because those are the things that, again, like I shared with you in session 1, when Sandy was talking about fasting and doing cleanses, and I shared with you about the importance of having fiber in your diet and what it does and how it acts as the Uber driver that goes through your intestines, picking up all the toxins, picking up all the waste, and that includes other, in your body. So the more fiber you have in your body, number one, that's going to help clean out a number of different systems in addition to your colon. Okay. And relative to, organic foods, again, what's going to help you to feel more satiated when you eat is having more fiber in your diet, which we know the best, it's just the case. A lot of times the best sources for having a variety of fiber is going to come from plant-based sources. So the more you can add more plant-based sources, even if you are, still, consuming animal proteins, something that I learned in my training, crowding in. So the more plant-based foods you can crowd into your diet, and preferably if they're raw, the better you're gonna feel, the more satisfied you're gonna feel, the less hungry you're gonna feel, and on top of that, you're gonna find that you're gonna poop, like Sandy talked about in session number 1. You're gonna poop more because we all got to do it. So that's a one and done right there. So anybody else want to jump in on that?
Well, for myself, yesterday, I broke my fast with 1 whole avocado, a 1/4 cup of green olives, and a 1/4 cup of walnuts. And then I had a very large salad after that. And that was all I ate. Now, I'll tell you that prior to, let's say 6 months ago, my stomach was like the bottomless pit. I could eat and eat and eat. I could barely get through that food yesterday. It was a lot. And then today, I went to the bathroom 2 times, and you'd have thought it would have been a cow patch poop. Or each time it was like, OMG, hey, I'm just being, what do you say? I'm just being invisible here with my stuff or whatever. But looking in the mirror, I don't see where I've lost that much weight. But putting on that jacket today, I'm hot, sizzling mama now, doggone it. So take the pictures. You know, look at yourself, put on your clothes. That's the real measurement. Those are the non-scale measurements that will propel you to continue doing what you're doing. Stop eating the meat. There's your cholesterol right there. Don't keep trying to run from it. It's killing us, people. You know, it's killing us. Point blank, period. It's time for change. And only you can make that change.
And
How
speaking,
bad do you want it?
And speaking of changes, we have some more ladies that are going to be joining us. I want to say congratulations to Princess and Lori and Jody. They're going to be joining us over the next 12 days. And I think, okay, it looks like Sandra might be joining us as well. So I'm just going to say congratulations to you ladies. Again, the link is posted in the chat. And you have time. Our deadline, Carol asked, when is the deadline to the deadline? Is it December? Is December 1st?
Well, December 1st, we start.
When we start.
Yeah.
December 1st
Yeah.
is when we start.
So we really would like to give you time to prepare yourself. Jasmine asked about how do you prepare yourself? And I was starting to answer her about removing sugar, dairy, processed foods, and meat. And we want to give you some ideas of preparation in terms of foods to buy, herbs and teas and things for your smoothies. I know that I'll be, giving you a food list. So the sooner you'll have that, then the sooner you'll be prepared. So let me look at the calendar. Today's the 19th. So I would say you would want at least a week to be prepared mindset wise, to start removing those things. Because I tell you this from working at the Living Foods Institute, and Sandy could chime in. If you eat your Zaxby's, McDonald's and all that stuff and wait till December 1st, you're going to be miserable. You're going to have a headache. You're going to have a detox headache. You're going to go into a healing crisis. You're going to be like, I don't feel good. I don't want to continue. Well, we got to start now.
Flu. I'm coming down with the flu. Those are all symptoms that the fast is working, and all of that toxins is trying to come out of you. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So ladies, and I do want to say this in answer to your question in terms of preparation, because the first 3 days when you'll be joining me with Let Us Surprise You, like I said, we're going to get into mindset and preparing your mind for what's going to come the next 3 weeks after the next 3 days after the first 3 days. And so with that being said, and getting you prepared, we will be doing a kickoff call, right? A couple of days before we actually start on December 1st, so that, like Carla said, you're going to be getting grocery shopping lists, I'm going to be giving you specific meal plans for the first 3 days when we're going to be eliminating certain foods. And so we're going to talk about that in great detail. I'm going to share with you some things that you can expect to happen in the first 3 days and moving forward. So all of that is going to be part of what's going to happen in order to get you mentally prepared. Because like I said, it starts in the mind first. All of that's going to happen. And we're going to talk about that in great detail in our kickoff call. And once you get registered, we're going to give you that information. We're going to be giving you the links and the shopping list so that you can get prepared before December 1st, so that when December 1st comes, you are going to be ready, as they say in the South, you're going to be ready to go. I promise you.
The next 3 days is actually a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday that we'll be doing the liquids, probably mostly water, and because I want to show you guys just how strong you are. And how, like Marvin Gaye would say, gotta give it up, man, gotta give it up. And so you'll have the weekend to be able to do that. And you'll see that your body doesn't require all the food that the food industry been conditioning us with, you know, like you gotta have breakfast is the most important meal, and then you gotta eat lunch, and then you gotta have a snack. And so just go with us on this. You're gonna have fun. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 4, 5, and 6 are my days. I promise to be nice to you. I promise.
We'll see.
So yeah, so Carla is showing you what's involved. And again, if you go to that link, and I'm gonna put it in the chat one more again. If you go to the link, that's where you're gonna get all the everything that she's showing you right now. That's where you can see that. And I'm putting that link in the chat again right now. You go to that link, that's where you can see everything that's included, how it works, what you're gonna be getting with that. So that's where you wanna go. And then join us. Join the 4 of us, and Hanok and Crystal and Princess and Laurie and Jody and Sandra. Join us.
Carol's coming. Carol just said she's going to join us too.
And Carol,
Yes,
join us.
And
Because like Sandy said, it's gonna be fun.
be sure and take those before pictures, and have the same thing on before and after, so you can see how it fits differently, you know, because I swear up and down, I ain't lost nothing. And that jacket, let me see today. Yeah, I have. I'm trimming down, and it feels really, really good.
But you know what, Star, when I was with Carla teaching over there at LFI, Living Foods Institute, I didn't know I had lost weight. And one day I went to put on something and it just kind of fell off. And I was like, oh my God, because you don't feel hungry. When you're eating real food is what I call it. When you're eating whole food, plant-based product, it fills you up. You're not hungry 2 minutes later or 30 minutes later. It stays in your system. And at the same time, as all 4 of us have been saying, you rid your body of the toxins and the additives and all of that stuff that we've become accustomed to. Look, I couldn't start my day without Mountain Dew and a chocolate bar. So that was my start to every day. And once I started learning how to do the cleanses and detoxing, I can't stand that much caffeine and sugar in my system anymore. So, but someone said earlier, and I just want to add to it, one of the simplest ways when you want to begin to start eliminating anything white rice, white sugar, white flour, white eggs, white milk, anything white, start taking them out of your diet. They have absolutely zero nutritional value. Zero. They've been bleached of everything. That's how I start my folks.
And they may then put what they were bleached out back in as like a supplement. It's like, what? You done took it away. Now you're bringing it back in some other kind of form? That don't make no sense.
Because they have added chemicals to it, Star. You know, so.
Yeah.
So ladies and gentlemen, so like I said, our time has wound up. We are so excited that you got excited about this, about moving forward into 2021 with being a new you and joining us with on our ultimate fast, because you know we're going to be doing it with you. So and just know that you're not alone, because you're going to have us coaching with you throughout the 12 days. It's and like Sandy said, it might not sound like it now, but I promise you it's going to be fun. The food is going to be good. And you're going to really gain, like I tell my clients all the time when I do a cleanse, you're going to gain not just, losing or releasing weight physically. Some of you are going to release some things mentally, some other emotional blockages that you have. Some of you are going to experience that too over those next 12 days, which a lot of times for a lot of us, that's really what causes us to hold on to the weight, is because we have other blockages in our mental, emotional spirit that we're just holding on to, that doesn't allow our body to work optimally. We're going to see a lot in this 12 days, and we're so excited for all of you that are joining us. Again, Carla has put the link in the chat again. We are, like I said, for all the questions that we didn't get to, make sure to go to the group page. We're going to post those questions and give you answers questions to the best of our ability, understanding that we are not doctors. We are just sharing with you things that have worked for us. We do not encourage you we do encourage you, I should say, to definitely seek the opinions of your primary care physicians before doing anything that's drastic. But we're just here to share with you what has worked for us and what has worked for clients that we have worked with. And so I just want to close by saying that, and close again by saying thank you for all of the support that you guys have given us, just starting with Sister Heal Thyself, even to now. We have a lot more to come, and just by you guys showing your support just makes us want to give more. And trust me when I tell you, we have so much more to give. So with that being said, I am going to bid you adieu and say good night. And again, the link is in the chat. Definitely go to click on the link and join us for the ultimate fast. So I'm going to say good night to you all, and have a good evening and a good rest of your weekend.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you on December the 1st.
Thank you all so much.
All right.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Night.
Everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Have a good evening.
Thank you. Yeah,
Oh, I want to be where you are.
Yeah, baby.
All right.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
Thank you, Lori. Thanks for coming. Thanks, Regina. Good to see you're square.
Thanks for making Maya.
Francesca, love.
Oh, okay.
I see your bed.
Hey, Francesca. Girl.
Yes, Sandy.
Hey, Maya.
Hey.
Thanks for being with us tonight.
Those and kisses. That's what I was just texting Sandy.
Oh,
We receive.
I want to be in your circle of friends. And
You're here.
yes, Sandy. Yeah. So this was an introduction to in the Living Spoons Institute. I've learned some. I didn't know you were there, Sandy.
Yeah.
And I want to be in your circle, Sandy.
you are now.
Put together something wonderful. I also might participate. Didn't choose it tonight, but I might participate.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Awesome.
We're holding space for you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Maya.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Who else we got?
We've got Francesca Love and Betty. Betty don't want to let us go. Betty's still hanging.
No, she's there. She is, yeah. So Francesca left us. Okay.
I put them in the waiting room.
great
We
night.
have one more person still with us.
We do?
Yeah, it says 6.
No, it's 2 in the waiting room, Tanya.
Oh,